It's a Tuesday.
Hello.
Yeah, that's
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday?
Brisket Taco Tuesday for us.
Okay. Sounds great.
Good morning. Thank
Hello.
you guys for joining us.
On episode 668 on TNT, yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
We skipped 666. That one just didn't feel right. So I was like, hey,
Kinda
Omkar.
creepy.
And he's like, yeah, I got it. So
Got it. So I'm doing roll call this morning.
nice.
Just wondering who's here. I'll see you guys. Thanks for joining us. If you're new, chat your name in and we'll give you a big warm welcome.
That's awesome.
We're on Twitch, Twitter, and YouTube, right?
Those are real things.
Wow. And Facebook.
Yep.
We're everywhere.
It just depends what the episode is. Today, we have 3 sales tactics never to use as a realtor.
Oh, get your pen and paper.
That'll be the first topic. And topic number 2 is going to be sprinting to the finish line for 2021. You know, hopefully everybody took a little reset here recently.
Yep.
And now the kids are back in school and we kind of have all that done. And then we have, you know, all the holiday season coming up and how important it is right now
Yeah.
to focus, to finish off this year.
It is
and have
super
a great,
important.
great Christmas for yourself.
Okay.
So those are the 2 items today.
All right. And then we have a word of the day. So ready to get started.
Three sales tactics never to use as a realtor. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. That is Shana Acquisto. She's a luxury real estate broker with jazz hands. That's pretty cool. And, you know, sometimes as agents, you get talking about things and then all of a sudden you say things. And I went down the list and talked about a couple of the key items that if you end up saying or you hear yourself saying, not to do.
Okay.
Right? And then we'll discuss those. And
that I do.
if you have other ones, then you can also bring them up and we can kind of discuss them. So this would be a great time to kind of get interactive and start typing through them, right?
Yes.
Chat them in. We'd like you to be interactive. So the first one is, what is your budget? Okay? So that just is trying to identify, like the word budget, it is kind of a different word, right? So you can ask things that they kind of want and you can get to that.
Okay.
But the word budget is
that.
a different one. Don't do that.
I did that yesterday.
You did? Use the word budget? Okay.
Well, I said, what is your, you know, what are you comfortable with on a monthly basis is what I said. So I do that and then go
So that's the
backwards.
payment, right? Their monthly payment. That's kind of a little bit different.
Paying on a monthly basis, and then we kind of go from there.
Then slimy, in a feel way, is what would it take for you to earn? What would it take for me to earn your business today?
We've done that.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you would do if you were in Sales 101 and you were trying to put somebody in a corner and have them, you know.
Yes. So we used to, so me personally, I just go back to like advertising days and all those tactics were wouldn't call them slimy, but they are a little weird, right? Like they tell you, create this sense of urgency. I mean, that's a different sales. This is completely different than any other sales I think people are in. You do need to go coach and guide people to make a decision, but you can't force them. And you say it all the time. You can't force somebody to, you know, to buy a home. You just can't.
Yeah. And then are you the decision maker or the key decision maker or whatever that is, right?
We're not selling cars, people. We're selling homes, lifestyles. That's what we're selling.
Yeah. So don't each of those questions kind of feel car salesman-y.
Yeah, they do.
What's your budget? What would it take for me to earn your business today? Are you the key decision maker? Right?
Okay.
So
right.
kind of talk through, you know, a little bit of that and talk about what you really want to do.
So the thing is you want to know their budget, right?
Yep.
You want to earn their business today.
Sure.
And you do want to make sure you're in front of the decision makers.
Yes.
But how you approach it, I think, is different. So I think that the number one thing to learn here is to establish a relationship. Make a connection, form a relationship, and automatically you earn the trust of them. If you're pushy and sign this, then nobody likes that.
That all has to get accomplished.
It does.
Right?
It does.
And there's other key things that we have to have. Like, I don't know if we've ever closed a transaction without having somebody's email address in the recent past. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So that is a key thing that you have to get. You have to move from text to email.
If you're working with someone, they're not the decision maker, then it all leads back. Have you really formed a relationship to get to know that person?
Have you listened?
And sometimes it takes some time. So this business is like, it's like a crock pot. Slow cooking.
Sometimes, and then sometimes people are just ready to go.
Sometimes people know what they want and they're ready to go fast, and you also have to be ready. You have to just be ready for whatever is thrown at you.
The basic concept is don't be a salesperson.
Don't be a salesperson.
I don't believe that you can sell a home.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So people are going to have price points that they can afford. Mm-hmm. People are going to have things that they want, features and functions in the home. Mm-hmm. They're going to have schools that they want their kids to go to, or timelines, or any one of those items, right? And you kind of can't change most of those variables. You have to understand them and be able to give suggestions. One of the key things I personally like to do is if somebody asks me a question and says, what should I do? I have certain things that I stop down on and turn it around and give the opportunity to present something different.
Sure.
And so one that I always stop on is, what should I do? And then what I'll say is, hey, everybody has a whole different set. I could never say what you should do. However, what I will do is share the decision-making process that we had when we were buying a home, or what's important to us and why.
Right.
So I'll share a piece of me with you. And in doing so, you'll see my decision-making process. And that could hopefully help you with your decision-making process. And allow them the latitude, but still give them all the background information. Because if it says you should do this, it feels like you're kind of like looking down, pointing down, like you're the adult and they're the
and if
kid.
you do that and it doesn't work for them, then they might come back and blame you. It's okay to also say, we didn't do this, or we wouldn't do this because we did this in the past and it didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's okay to also share things that didn't work for you and why, right? So you're really opening up to a person and sharing some things that are, true to you. And
I have a huge growing list of things that hasn't worked for us in the past, right? And I think it's a big thing to share, like, hey, this didn't go right and this is why. You know what I mean? Yeah. There's a lot of them as agents that we've tried early in our career. And it worked or it didn't work, or times changed and it wouldn't work now because, and you're able to share those things off. And experiences are important.
And I think if someone is asking you, what should I do? That's a pretty big ask of you. So there's some trust that has been formed there along the way, right? So you want to do the best job for them. So, I'm about the real life experiences and stories and real life instead of, we're in a world of everything is kind of rosy on social media, but you don't see what goes on behind the scenes, right? All the time. So, be true to who you are and form these relationships. And if they don't buy today, that's okay. You have something in your pipeline for whenever it may come, and you can help them. So.
Yep. So those are two of my things, is you can't sell real estate. And I try to share what we did and why. And then Shana also says, like, we didn't do this because. Are there kind of anything else that you...
No, I think it's a big one. I think a lot of us say, what's your budget? What are you looking for here? And, I guess that comes across... What is that? Is it coming across as rude? Or what is it?
Well, it's just the word budget.
Okay, so the word budget, how can I earn your business today, seems very like you're buying a car. And then, are you the decision maker? That's very, generic. That's a very generic phrase.
Right.
So, hey, is it just you buying? Do you have a family? This is exciting. Who is it?
It's kind of a direct question. So, like the one on the budget, there's a lot of different ways to approach it to get there. Is, have you spoke with a lender to become fully qualified, right? To be fully approved? And then you get to that, and then you'll walk through the steps, and do you have a full approval letter? And this is the case. And you're like, no, I'm going to be paying cash. Oh, wow, that's impressive. And, I guess one more thing that I do like to hit on from time to time in the sales process is when somebody does say a number, and I'm going to be buying this price point home, or I'm only going to be buying this, whenever they say that number, and then they say I'm going to be putting down this much or whatever that is, I always like to compliment them, right?
Yeah, you do a good
whatever
job
that
at
is.
that.
And I'm like, whoa, hang on.
Amazing.
Yeah, no, that's impressive. You're this age, you've done this, it's super hard. I know how hard it is to save this. Having that much money and putting that much down, super impressive. And I just want to take a second before we move on and just acknowledge that and say, that's impressive.
It's a big deal.
You know?
But you also have to think, if somebody says, look, I'm looking at, $350 for a price. Well, how do they know what the taxes are, if there's this or that? Is it in a mud district? How much are the HOAs? That leaves it pretty broad. So, a lot of people, I think, go online and do the mortgage calculators, and it's kind of very broad. So it is really a good idea to not just go with the price point, but understand, kind of what they're comfortable with on a monthly basis.
Yeah, those mortgage calculators will have assumptions built in. It's like, we assume you're putting 20% down.
Or 30. I saw one that had 30%.
That's nice.
Like,
and then they assume that you're
you have
self-escrowing. And but we're not going to include your taxes and insurance. That's like on your own. We don't, right? So anyways,
just think about that. We are salespeople, but, some of these tactics could come across as, ugh. And that is, they may have interviewed 3 or 4 people and you've all said the same thing. So do something a little different, show you care, and, develop those relationships.
There you go.
That's important.
Bell time. Sprinting to the finish line in 2021 as a realtor.
Look like I kind of have a
That is Shana Acquisto, luxury real estate broker. Wearing her tracksuit because she is ready to sprint. Nothing better than a good tracksuit. But what we're going to talk about is where we are in the calendar, right? And how you have a little bit of time left. Tell me, you saw something. A little bit of time. I saw something today that we are less than 100 days to the end of the year. Nice. Whoop. Congratulations.
Yeah. So, hey, we're all here. We've made it. But this is not the time to let off the gas, right?
No, it's not. So think about yourself right now and visualize what you've earned for the year. And I bet a lot of you have career highs for the year already as far as your income goes.
And maybe some do not. I don't know.
And if you'd like to set those new numbers, whatever they are, right? So now is the time to be able to benchmark in something better. You'll feel even better.
I think it's time right now to just stop and kind of assess what's going on and, identify what are your goals for the end of the year. So we're right now, almost October 1st. So by the end of the year, that's 3 months. What are your goals? Do you want to close 1 more deal, 10 more deals, 20? I don't know what it is. But I always think that you have to set your goal and be realistic, guys. Look at what you've done the whole year. And if you've closed 5 per month, don't be like, oh, now I got to close 10. Let's be realistic. But you need to set a goal and understand what it is. So whatever you set your goal to, I always look at it, you set it, and then you kind of have to reverse engineer back to try to see how to accomplish that. But one thing that I think is really important to do is to set your goals. But we have so many things coming up on, with parties and, we're going to be out of town for Thanksgiving or whatever it may be. Make sure all those things are on your calendar. So your calendar up to date and planning that out right now and what that looks like, I think is extremely important, because you're only going to have, just because we have less than 100 days, you may have, 45 real days that you can work. So get everything on your calendar, know what that looks like. When your kid's out of school, what's happening, right?
I like 45 working days left in the year. I'm in. Sign me up.
Yeah, sign me up. And then, do you have a plan that's like way too complex? You know, keep it simple. Because sometimes you can overdo it and then you accomplish none of it. And you're just super stressed out. So I think set some goals, put things on your calendar, and then, you know, make sure you have a simple plan to get there. Don't overdo it. Enjoy yourself. These are times with your family during the holidays that we want to spend time together. So don't like, okay, the kids are going to be out of school. I'm going to be able to work even longer days. No, let's not do that. So those 3 things, please do that. And if you need some help with kind of coming up with realistic goals, you know, we do have our one-on-one times that I would love to have with you, and we can talk about them.
There you go.
All right.
All time. Today's real estate word of the day is loan origination.
Loan origination, how a lender refers to the process of obtaining new loans.
It's the fact of actually originating the loan, not the originator, but it's the fact of to originate a loan.
To originate, right.
Yep. There we go.
Okay. That's pretty simple.
Well, that's a wrap for us today. Just 2 topics in. We hope that you guys pick something up and you take some time to work on your business for the next couple of minutes. We had an agent contact me yesterday, and they were working on something for the business that I think will help them out long term.
Yeah.
So that was really nice to see those things. If you're laying that foundation, you will be happy long term. So make sure you do that. Pick something out and go ahead and do it. We will have a tip for you tomorrow on stuff to do on Wednesdays, like we are trying to do each week. But spend that time right now and go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
If you saw something that you thought would be a sales tactic not to use, you can go ahead and chat that one in, right? We're always looking to hear different things. Or something that you do that happens to work really well for you.
Yeah.
Share
I'd
that
love to
off.
hear.
But just concentrate just a little bit when you hear yourself saying certain things to pick them up and finish the
I
year
like
off
that.
strong.
Yeah. Let's go, guys. See you tomorrow.
Okay.
What?
All right.
Awesome.
Pick one, 3 sales tactics never to use as a realtor. Yes, perfect. Now,
Oh.
We got it.
second topic, sprinting to 2021 finish line.
Am I running?
Yeah, you should be in the picture then. Like I can't actually see your hands, so like you're actually up. There you go. That was nice. You're actually running there. Okay. I don't know how that one worked out. Try it again where you're more in the screen. I'll be off to the side. I'll give you some room. I think your hands have to be higher up, possibly.
Yes. Now.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Thank
And what
you.
of the loan origination?
Loan origination.
Okay. Yeah.
Now.
Okay. That's all we got.